It's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and what is going on? What are the chances that as soon as I got off of Nick's, stream that I was dual streaming on, that I would get this popping up right away? Um, I have no idea, but NYC drug arrest unveils satanic,
A hurricane or a
um,
tornado, I've been to a number of them, been to some of the biggest
child
ones on the
ring
books. I've never
cult
seen this
after,
level
quote,
of total
blood
destruction before.
covenant.
A
Child
lot of
abuse
the folks
files
who were here who
found.
responded to 9/11 said that
Holy
there's a lot of
majoli.
similarities
Are
here.
you kidding me?
What sort of
The
similarities?
arrest of a Queens man
Um,
on gun charges 2 years ago may have
the
led federal
ash, the
authorities to the
destruction, and
discovery of
what
a
we're looking for
satanic,
isn't what we're traditionally trying to
child
look for. That
abuse
this is a
extortion
lot
cult that targets
smaller,
minors over
and
the
just like
internet.
how 9/11 was very
Investigators
sacred
uncovered
to
a
the
heinous
responders there,
group
because it
of
was fellow responders, very similar here. This is
764
a
while
sacred and special
probing
place
disturbing social media
to the people
posts
of
made
Maui,
by
and
Angel
everybody on this island
Almeida, 23,
at
who was
least knew,
busted
if didn't
November
love somebody in that
2021,
community or
charged with
from
being
that
a
community or lived
convicted
in that
felon in
community. So this is a
possession
very
of a
personal thing,
firearm,
not unlike
according to
9/11. That was
court
very personal
documents
to New York and the
and a
country.
report published Thursday. In February, Brooklyn federal prosecutors announced that they had filed a superseding indictment against Alameda, adding charges related to child exploitation and enticement of minors. Prior to the arrest, prior to Alameda's arrest, the FBI followed anonymous tips that allegedly linked him to social media accounts containing vile posts about child abuse of a terrible nature, if you catch my drift, including one Instagram profile, Necroped Cell, that featured a photo of what appeared to be a child bound and gagged. Okay, Snake Island for all of these people, allegedly in Minecraft, Tetris, Centipede, Atari, and all the other things. A post on another one of Alameda's alleged Instagram profiles showed him posing with ammunition strapped to his chest in front of a black flag bearing the logo of the Order of Nine Angels, which prosecutors described as a quote, worldwide Satanist group which embraces elements of neo hankety clankety, Mr. Struggling Austrian painter from the early 30s of the last century, and white supremacy. Um, Sir, I don't wanna correct you on your history, but I don't think that Mr. Hankety Clankety would be super welcoming of you. I mean, things have modernized and diversified, but I still don't think Mr. Hankety Clankety would have been very, uh, welcoming, but okay. When authorities searched Almeida's home, they allegedly found hundreds of files containing child abuse material on 4 different devices, as well as books related to O9A and Satanism, according to court documents. They also found a quote, blood covenant, or a O9A drawing of a hooded figure surrounded by the group's symbols and smeared with what appeared to be blood, the filing states. On September 12th, the FBI issued a public notice about 764, a violent online groups, quote, violent online groups that, quote, deliberately target minor victims on publicly shared available messaging platforms to extort them into recording or live streaming acts of self harm and producing child exploited materials. Sources told The Guardian that the cult is believed to be an offshoot of OA9 and that law enforcement discovered the group through investigations into Alameda's case. So, parents, check and make sure that none of your kids have anything to do with 764. Apparently, it looks like they use threats, blackmail, and manipulation. Um, I'll continue. FBI did not immediately return the Post's request for comment on Thursday. Members of 764 are thought to, quote, use threats, blackmail, and manipulation to get vulnerable youth, particularly LGBTQ plus minors, racial minority, and those with health issues to record acts of self-harm, animal abuse, um, sex acts, and suicide, the FBI warning states. The group targets victims through platforms like Roblox, Discord, Twitch, as well as curated SoundCloud playlists and encrypted messaging apps. Telegram researchers told The Guardian. There are likely thousands of 764 members, with hundreds of more active members trawling these platforms regularly, they added. Though the FBI's warning earlier this month marked the first time that U.S. law enforcement publicly mentioned 764, the circle has already made headlines overseas. A German teen accused of killing his Romanian foster family is believed to have been a participant. Uh, according to Romanian daily newspaper Libertate. Okay. So this is what they assume is the blood oath, and apparently they pray to the zodiac. Look, I don't know. This is all the weird. Just try to be mindful of what your kids are doing online. I know it's hard. I am not the most tech smart. I try to be mindful of what the boys are doing on Roadblock and, uh, you know, try to play with them a little bit to make sure that they're still in kind of the group with just kind of family members, because I've set it up that way and I have the girls help me look and make sure they're just with their family circle, and not random people. The teenager had a swastika and 764 tattoos, as well as necro, the same word Alameda used for one of his Instagram usernames, inked on his forearm, the outlet noted. In addition to child sexual abuse material, Alameda is accused of attempting to lure two underage girls into activities, one of whom he allegedly targeted for the purpose of producing and disseminating child sex abuse material. The February indictment reads, quote, "As alleged, Alameda posed multiple threats to our community, not only as a felon in possession of a firearm, but also through targeting children as victims of abuse." FBI Assistant, excuse me, Director in charge Michael Driscoll said in a statement at the time. Yeah, he looks completely normal. At a recent appearance in federal court, Alameda, who previously served 18 months behind bars in Florida on burglary charges, scoffed at the serious allegations against him. "What the F do you even call a minor?" he said. "You tell me what's a minor," he ranted to Judge Rachel P. Kovner, detailed the content of attempted child exploitation charges. Earlier in the proceedings, Alameda claimed that he was diagnosed with schizophrenic bipolar disorder in 2018, but had never been medicated for the condition. After a lengthy evaluation process, Alameda was found competent to stand trial earlier this month. The trial is set to begin on December 4th. If convicted, he faces a maximum penalty of life in prison. Uh, look, while there might be this giant, cult thing going on online, this is just another thing that, another reminder to parents that we really need to be careful about, not in a Ruby, Frankie sort of way, of what our kids are doing online. I think it's become so ubiquitous to us, that our kids have always grown up with pads that we've kind of forgotten those really cheesy, after school specials that we all had to sit through, like, "Oh, well, on the internet, you don't know who you could be talking to," that we all kind of had to through in the early infancy of the internet, and we've almost kind of forgotten that you could be talking to anyone, and really instilling that into our kids and monitoring that the best we can. Look, this is scary. but it's no different than any other day, unfortunately, that your kids are gonna have their tablets, so just keep touch with your kids. Make sure you know who they are, who they're playing with, try to set up the safeguards. Keep those communication lines set open. That's the best we can do as parents. If you find anything disturbing, you know, talk to your kids. If you find anything really disturbing, take that to the authorities. You know, I don't know how many of these things are out there. It makes you almost want to become Amish, to be serious for a minute. But, if you see something really bad like this out there, say something, get this to the authorities, and s- keep tabs of your kids. There are these really creepy, gross people out there. And unfortunately, th- they're all around. I mean, you've got this guy who apparently seems to like struggling Austrian painters from the 1930s that he doesn't quite understand that, he might not have liked him back. But, just be safe, check in with your kids, make sure that you've got the safeguards on their pads, and do as much as you can. Try not to get too scared. Don't live your life in fear, but do put safeguards in place. And I will see you all in a little bit for the state strikes back, Gareth Pursehouse case rebuttal, and verdict watch. So have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and I will see you in a little bit. Bye, guys.